The microphone crashes to the floor. Chief Obiora Nwankwo stands frozen on stage, his hand still extended, his mouth hanging open. Around him, 300 guests stare in collective horror. Someone's phone is recording. The red dot blinks like a demon's eye. "I killed her," he says again, louder this time. "I poisoned my wife. I slept with her best friend while she was dying." The ballroom erupts. Screams, gasps, the sound of chairs scraping against marble. But Obiora cannot move. Behind him, his new wife Amara stands perfectly still, her smile small and satisfied. Her eyes gleam with something that does not belong to her. This is not where the story begins. This is where everything ends. To understand how Chief Obiora Nwankwo lost everything, we must go back 18 months to the night his first wife drew her last breath and spoke words that would reshape his destiny. Nkiru Nwankwo had been the perfect wife for 15 years. She raised their 3 children, managed the household staff, attended every charity gala with grace. She never complained when Obiora stayed out late. She never questioned the lipstick stains or the strange perfumes. She simply smiled and waited. "You look tired," Amara said one afternoon, visiting the mansion as she always did. Amara had been Nkiru's friend since university. She knew where every room was, which drawers held what secrets. "You should rest more." Nkiru set down her tea. Her hand trembled slightly. "I am resting. I sleep so much these days." "Then why do you look worse?" Amara's concern seemed genuine. Only later would anyone question it. The truth was simple and brutal. Chief Obiora had grown tired of obstacles. Nkiru opposed his plan to marry a senator's daughter as a second wife. She threatened to expose certain business dealings. She had become inconvenient, so he began adding something to her evening tea, just a little, just enough. "The doctors say it is stress," Obiora told visitors, his face grave with false concern. "She works too hard for charity." But in his bedroom at night, he called Amara. "Come through the back gate," he whispered into the phone. "The guards know to let you in." Amara came. She always came. The affair began 3 months before Nkiru died. It started with conversations, then touches, then something darker. Obiora felt no guilt. Men of his stature deserved everything they desired. What was one woman's life against his empire? "She suspects something," Amara said one night, buttoning her blouse in Obiora's study. Upstairs, Nkiru lay in bed, too weak to rise. "She asked me yesterday if I thought you were faithful." "What did you say?" "I told her you loved her," Amara smiled. "I told her she was imagining things." Obiora pulled her close. "Good, it will be over soon." He was right. Within 2 weeks, Nkiru collapsed. The ambulance came screaming up the circular driveway. Obiora rode beside her, holding her cold hand, his face a mask of anguish for the paramedics. At the hospital, he paced the corridors like a devoted husband while texting Amara in the bathroom. The night Nkiru died, the hospital room was cold and smelled of disinfectant. The machines beeped their steady rhythm. Obiora sat beside the bed, checking his watch. The doctor had said it would be soon. Nkiru's eyes opened. They were clear suddenly, burning with an awareness that made Obiora flinch. "You did this," she whispered. Not a question, a statement. "You are confused," Obiora said quickly. "The medication." "I know about Amara." Nkiru's voice was stronger now, fed by something beyond her failing body. "I know you have been killing me slowly. I know everything." Obiora's heart hammered, but she was dying. What could she do? Nkiru smiled. It was terrible to see. "You think death will save you. You think I will simply disappear." She reached out and gripped his wrist with surprising strength. "But I will return. I will come back. And when I do, I will take everything from you the way you took everything from me." "You are raving," Obiora said, trying to pull away. "The earth hears me," Nkiru said. "The ancestors witness. You will lose your wealth. You will lose your children. You will lose your mind. And the woman you think you love will be the instrument of your destruction." The machines screamed. Nurses rushed in. Obiora stumbled backward as they worked frantically over his wife's body. But it was too late. Nkiru was gone, her eyes still open, still staring at him with that knowing smile. The last thing Obiora heard before he left the room was thunder, though the night sky was clear. The funeral was magnificent. 3 governors attended. The bishop gave a moving sermon. Obiora wept real tears not for Nkiru, but for the fear her final words had planted in his chest. But as the weeks passed and nothing happened, he relaxed. She had been delirious. Dying people said strange things. He called Amara the night after the burial. "I need to see you." "So soon," even she sounded uncertain. "Is it not disrespectful?" "Nkiru is gone. Life continues." But Amara felt strange that night. When Obiora touched her, she shivered. When he kissed her, she tasted metal. She went home early, claiming a headache. That night, she dreamed of drowning. The dreams came every night after that. Dreams of water filling her lungs. Dreams of standing at her own grave. Dreams of looking in a mirror and seeing someone else's face. Amara went to 3 different hospitals. They found nothing wrong. "It is stress," the last doctor said. "Grief, perhaps, for your friend." But Amara knew grief. This was something else. This was something crawling beneath her skin, settling into her bones, learning her body like a new home. She woke one morning and craved palm wine, though she had never liked it. She found herself humming songs she did not know. When she looked at Obiora, she felt rage so pure it made her dizzy. "Marry me," Obiora said 2 months after the funeral. He knelt in his living room with a diamond ring. "Be my wife." Amara heard herself say yes, but the voice that whispered in the back of her mind said something different. The voice said, "Perfect." The wedding was smaller than his first, but no less expensive. Amara wore white, though she felt darkness settling around her shoulders like a cloak. During the ceremony, she looked at Obiora and smiled. He smiled back, thinking he had won. He had no idea his dead wife was looking back at him through living eyes. If you are enjoying this story, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more African tales that will keep you at the edge of your seat. The possession was not sudden. It was gradual, like water seeping through cracks. Nkiru's consciousness woke inside Amara's body slowly, carefully. At first, she simply watched, observed, learned. Amara did not know she was being shared. She thought the strange impulses were her own. "I have been thinking," Amara said one evening over dinner, 3 months into the marriage. "You should invest in that telecommunications deal, the one your brother proposed." Obiora frowned. "That deal is risky. I already declined." "But think of the returns." Amara's smile was encouraging. "You have always been brave in business." Something about her tone made Obiora reconsider. His new wife believed in him. She supported his ambitions. He made the investment. Within 6 months, the company collapsed. Obiora lost 40 million naira. "It is fine," Amara soothed, rubbing his shoulders. "You will recover. But perhaps you should sell some properties to cover the loss. The hotel in Abuja, perhaps." He sold the hotel. The buyer was connected to a lawsuit Obiora did not know was coming. Within a year, he would lose 3 more properties to legal fees. "Your accountant is stealing from you," Amara mentioned casually one morning. "I saw the discrepancies in the books." She was right. Obiora fired the accountant and hired Amara's recommendation. The new accountant was honest but incompetent. More money disappeared, this time through legitimate mistakes. Everything Amara touched turned to poison. But she did it so sweetly, so lovingly, that Obiora never suspected. He thought he was simply having bad luck. He thought the universe was testing him. Inside Amara's mind, Nkiru smiled and pushed deeper. By the first anniversary of their marriage, she was fully awake. Amara had become a passenger in her own body, watching in confused horror as her hands moved without permission, as her mouth spoke words she did not choose. The children were next. Obiora's 3 children had moved into the mansion full-time after their mother died. They were polite to Amara but distant. They remembered their mother's kindness and saw nothing of it in their father's new wife. "Your father tells me you failed mathematics," Amara said to the oldest boy, Chidi, one afternoon. "I got a B," Chidi said coldly. A B is failure for a Nwankwo. Amara's voice was sharp. You will study harder. But then something shifted in her expression. Her voice softened. I am sorry, that was harsh. Your mother would want me to be kinder to you. Chitty looked up, startled. For a moment, Amara's face looked like his mother. The angle of her smile, the warmth in her eyes. You remind me of her, he said quietly. Do I? Amara reached out and touched his cheek, a gesture so familiar that Chitty's eyes filled with tears. Good, she loved you very much. This was Nkiru's cruelty. She showed the children glimpses of their mother through Amara's body, just enough to hurt, just enough to make them resent their father for replacing her so quickly. The children grew cold toward Obiora. They stopped calling him daddy and started calling him sir. They are teenagers, Obiora said, trying to understand. They will come around. But they did not. At family dinners, they spoke only to Amara. When Obiora tried to hug them, they stiffened. His own children were strangers. Maybe you should spend more time with them, Amara suggested. They feel abandoned. Obiora tried, but every attempt failed. Every conversation ended in arguments. He did not know that Amara whispered to the children when he was gone. She told them things, true things, about their father's affairs, his lies, his cruelty to their mother. She poisoned them against him with the truth. 2 years after Nkiru's death, Obiora's empire was crumbling. His wealth had halved. His reputation was damaged by failed deals and public scandals. His children barely spoke to him. He drank more, slept less. His hands shook in the mornings. I do not understand what is happening, he told Amara one night, his voice breaking. Everything I touch fails. Perhaps you're being punished, Amara said softly. Obiora looked at her sharply. Punished for what? I do not know, but the ancestors see everything. You know this. The words chilled him. He thought of Nkiru's final words. But no, that was impossible. Dead women did not return. Yet sometimes, when he looked at Amara, he saw Nkiru's eyes looking back. The final blow came at the African Business Excellence Awards. Obiora was receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award despite his recent failures. The old guard still respected him. The hall was packed. Cameras lined the walls. The event was being live-streamed to 50,000 viewers. Obiora had been drinking before he arrived. Liquid courage to face the crowds who whispered about his losses. On stage, under the hot lights with the applause washing over him, he felt powerful again. Invincible. I want to thank everyone who has supported me, he said into the microphone. The room fell silent. I have made mistakes. I have done things I regret. Amara watched from the front row. Inside her mind, Nkiru pushed forward with all her strength. This was the moment. This was why she had returned. Tell them the truth, Amara whispered, though Obiora could not hear her from the stage. But somehow the words reached him. I want to confess something, Obiora said. His voice was too loud. The microphone screeched feedback. I need to tell the truth. His PR manager stood up in alarm, but Obiora kept talking. My first wife did not die naturally. I killed her. The words came pouring out like vomit. I poisoned her. It took months. I did it so I could be with her best friend. We had an affair while she was dying. We slept together before the burial rites were finished. The room gasped as one living organism. I broke every tradition. I dishonored her memory. I am a murderer. Obiora was crying now, but he could not stop. The words kept coming, pulled from him by a force he could not name. Everything I have is built on her death, and now she is taking it all back. She cursed me. She came back. That is when the microphone fell. That is when Obiora understood what he had done. He looked at Amara, and for the first time he truly saw her. Saw the way she sat perfectly still. Saw the satisfaction in her eyes. Saw his dead wife smiling at him through living flesh. The video went viral within an hour. By morning, every news station in Nigeria was reporting the story. Chief Obiora Nwankwo, the respected billionaire, had confessed to murdering his wife on live television. The police came, but they found a broken man. Obiora sat in his study, rocking back and forth, muttering to himself. She came back, he whispered. She came back, she was always here, watching, waiting. The officers exchanged glances. They had seen this before. The weight of guilt, the pressure of exposure, it broke minds. "Sir, you need to come with us." But Obiora only laughed. "You cannot arrest me. She already has me. Do you not see her? She is right there. She is always there." He pointed at nothing. The officers called for medical assistance. Obiora never stood trial. He was declared mentally unfit. The doctors diagnosed him with acute psychotic disorder brought on by guilt and stress. They put him in a facility where he wandered the gardens, talking to a wife only he could see. All his assets were frozen pending investigation. But before the courts could seize everything, documents appeared. Signed transfers. Legal paperwork moving all of Obiora Nwankwo's remaining wealth, his sawmills, his properties, his investments, into trust funds for his 3 children. The executor of these trusts was listed as Nkiru Nwankwo's mother. No one could prove the signatures were forged. The lawyers said they looked legitimate. The documents were dated weeks before Obiora Nwankwo's confession, suggesting he had been planning this transfer for some time. Perhaps, they said, it was his last attempt at redemption. Only Amara knew the truth. She remembered signing the papers, but the memory was hazy, like watching someone else move her hand. She remembered visiting lawyers' offices, but could not recall what she said. Whole days were missing from her memory. The morning after Obiora was committed, Amara woke with a terrible clarity. She remembered everything. Every moment of the past 2 years played in her mind like a film she had watched but not lived. She remembered suggesting investments she did not understand. She remembered poisoning the children against their father with stories that came from knowledge she should not have possessed. She remembered standing at that award ceremony, watching Obiora confess, feeling satisfaction that was not her own. "What did you do to me?" she screamed at the empty bedroom. The presence inside her was gone. She felt hollow, scooped out. Where Nkiru Nwankwo's consciousness had lived, there was now only absence and the terrible understanding of what she had been made to do. Amara ran to the bathroom and vomited. When she looked up at her reflection, she saw only herself. No ghost, no possession, just a woman who had been used as an instrument of revenge and had not even known it. The guilt hit her like a physical blow. She had helped kill Nkiru by sleeping with Obiora, and Nkiru had punished her by stealing her body, her will, her life for 2 years. Amara had been a prisoner in her own flesh, and now that she was free, the weight of everything she had done crashed down on her. She thought of Obiora in his hospital, mad and broken. She thought of the children who would grow up knowing their father was a murderer. She thought of her own complicity in Nkiru Nwankwo's death and in Obiora Nwankwo's destruction. The scream started in her chest and did not stop. The maids found her 3 hours later, still screaming, her hands clawing at the bathroom tiles. She did not recognize them. She did not recognize anything. They took her to the same facility where they had taken Obiora. She sits there still, in a room with bars on the windows, talking to someone no one else can see. Sometimes she laughs. Sometimes she cries. Sometimes she speaks in a voice that sounds like Nkiru, saying over and over, "The debt is paid. The debt is paid. The debt is paid." Nkiru Nwankwo's children visit their grandmother's house every weekend. They are healing slowly. They know the truth about their father, but they also know their mother loved them enough to return from death itself to secure their future. They whisper prayers to her at night and feel her presence in the wind. And on certain evenings, when the sun sets red over Lagos, people say they see a woman walking the streets near the Nwankwo mansion. She wears traditional wrapper and a smile of deep satisfaction. She walks with purpose, as if she has finally completed a long journey. And then, like smoke, she disappears. Justice, the old people say, does not belong only to the living. The earth remembers. The ancestors are patient. And every betrayal returns, no matter how long it takes or what form it must wear to find its way home. If this story moved you, please like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts. Have you ever witnessed justice served in unexpected ways? Share your story with us. And remember, some debts cannot be paid with money. Some debts demand everything.